You're listening to Sister Stargazers, celestial and terrestrial observations and advice from two real-life sisters.
Welcome, fellow stargazers. Your sisters are in the house. Hi, Jude.
Hey, Sarah. How's it going?
It's going great. We're here at middle of May.
I know. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Just kind of cruising on by.
Through the eclipses, and now we're at episode 88. We're looking roughly around Sunday, May 14th through Saturday, May 20th. Some nice aspects happening. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, this is a big picture week. We've got a new moon in Taurus conjunct Sedna. So there's dreaming and organizing capacity. There's looking ahead. And there's also midweek, this balsamic moon period. But before we get there, Sunday, May 14th, Mercury, which is retrograde, will end its retrograde at 11:16 p.m.
Oh.
So just consider on the early part of the week, Monday, even though Mercury is direct, it still isn't quite moving very fast.
It's got a station first.
It's got a station. So you just want to kind of keep your understanding that you might want to double check your emails. You might want to read it a couple of times before you respond because that Mercury retrograde, it's a good idea because things can still be a little scrambled.
Yeah.
The moon is in Pisces on Sunday, which is great for relaxing. Okay. And then Monday, the moon is in Aries, which gives us a little bit of a push right out the door in the morning. And Mars trines Neptune, which is a great desire to escape.
Okay.
So there might be someone or something that you're dreaming about. So this Mars trine Neptune is like, I could go here, I could go there. It's a great time to dream. Okay. It's a great time to have faith that all will work out. It may not be the best thing to have it happen right on Monday morning, May 15th. You might find yourself daydreaming on your commute in. It's just Mars trine Neptune. It's just a very strong escapist sense.
Okay.
That will be kind of in play all week. So it might be helpful as we work into the new moon. Tuesday, Jupiter enters Taurus, which is a big deal. Jupiter's been in Aries for a whole year.
Yes.
This is a kind of like a fanfare kind of thing. Jupiter entering Taurus, reaching for the truth or taking a stand with something. So Jupiter is expansion. Yeah. Taurus is earth and wealth and commodities and values and money. So the expansion of those qualities in your life might be something to look at and look at where Taurus is in your particular chart. So there might be an expansion of the values of something that you're espousing or that maybe you're holding on to, or that, some book collection that you have all of a sudden is now, it's like, all first editions or something. Wow. I don't know. That's just an example, but just look at where Taurus is in your particular chart. Which house does Taurus fall in? And Jupiter will be in that house for a whole year, making things bigger. So taking all the values that you espouse and kind of growing them, having you work with them, bringing you luck and abundance in that particular area of your chart. It's a big deal, Jupiter entering Taurus.
Yay!
Yay. Wednesday, the moon will be squaring Mars. So this is another Mars aspect, and avoiding overreacting or rash behaviors, just a caution there. The moon will then enter Taurus and conjunct Jupiter and square Pluto. So Wednesday, the moon kind of pings on this newly entered Jupiter into Taurus and gives it a little shove. So your feelings about what you value or what you hold dear might be tested. There might be, a little bit of a tug of war or a disagreement. Pluto's involved, so there might be some potential for disagreement, or you're just finding out perhaps where someone else stands. So there might be a conversation that then you understand now that someone isn't quite on your side, or that you thought they thought the same thing that you did, but really they don't. There's just a bit of that on Wednesday. The moon will conjunct Mercury. So this is also happening Wednesday. So this is also part of Mercury being in Taurus. So ideas, feelings around ideas. So you might be feeling really attached to an idea.
Yeah.
The moon will sextile Saturn. And I'm spending some time on this because this is the balsamic moon phase right before the new moon on the 19th. So Wednesday the 17th, Thursday the 18th, Friday the 19th, when the new moon is, those days and times might feel a little more challenging or heavy. There's a feeling when the balsamic moon phase is really about pulling in and looking towards completion while the moon light is waning.
Okay.
So that's a time for healing, putting thoughts, prayers on the air for the world, for good things.
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 17th, the moon will sextile Saturn. Jupiter's going to square Pluto. Then the sun's going to sextile Neptune on Thursday, the 18th. So this is a great time to follow your intuition, follow your creativity, follow your dreams. And then the moon conjuncts Uranus that evening. So be open to new ideas, spontaneity, unexpected possibilities, synchronicities. These are all kind of up Thursday in general, but closer to the evening hour.
Okay.
And then Friday the 19th, Mercury sextiles Saturn. So this is rational behavior, logical thinking, concentration and focus. So this relates back to the moon sextile Saturn on Wednesday.
Okay.
And now the new moon is coming up.
Okay.
So this is all part of the new moon picture. The new moon is at 28 degrees, 25 minutes of Taurus, conjunct Sedna, which is at 29 degrees of Taurus. So this degree is considered, we're rounding up from 28 degrees Taurus, where the new moon is, to 29 degrees. So this is an anorectic degree of Taurus, and is conjunct the dwarf planet Sedna, which has an 11,600-year orbit around our sun.
Yeah.
So at the same time, exact at this new moon, is the north node, is at 3 degrees Taurus, and is at the midpoint between Jupiter, which is at 0 degrees Taurus, and Mercury, which is at 6 degrees Taurus. Okay. So this again is kind of saying, be open to new ideas, be open to something a little bigger that might be pointing you in a new direction.
Yes.
For your particular soul purpose in this lifetime. But the moon making that conjunction to Sedna is saying Sedna is about our soul's evolutionary point of focus over many lifetimes. So Sedna at this new moon is saying, there's something new that you want to go towards that's going to be part of your overall growth, not just for you individually, but for evolutionary purposes for everyone, right? For all of your lifetimes, your soul growth. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I would think that anything that comes up at the time of this new moon might be really pivotal, kind of charting a new direction. Or if you've had ideas, especially because we've gone through these particular eclipses and they were very strong because the full moon was at the midpoint on May 5th. That was Beltane. That's one of the cross quarter days. A very powerful time when there's this infusion of light, into the world. And it's related to the equinoxes and the solstice points where the sun is exactly in a certain relationship with the earth. So these are really potent times. So if there was something that came through then, or you came to understand and realize something that you were perhaps in the process of, like maybe an event didn't happen specifically on that date, but you got an inkling of a process of something ongoing, that just all of a sudden reaches a crisis point, and then we go, oh, where did that come from? But if you look back, you can see that it's been building and building and building. If we paid attention, we might have been able to understand or be more fully present in the process.
Right. Yes.
So that's what I see at this new moon, is that there is this reach of somewhat of an ending point. So all new
Yes.
moons and all full moons are ending points. But this particular new moon coming on the heels of these eclipses, and with Sedna at 29 degrees Taurus, is also really pointing to some kind of completion before the new thing can begin.
Yes. That may be, if I could introduce the card that came out this week, which is a 9, which is about completion. It's the 9 of Wands, and there's a figure who looks like they've put some work in. You could call it a battle, but there are 8 wands, quite tall, behind the figure, and then the figure is holding the 9th wand and sort of peering over their shoulder. You could say, you could read this a couple different ways, right? Like that the figure is watching and seeing if anything's going to come after them. Or you could think that they have sort of put a fence up, as if to say, been there, done that, don't have to go back, have what I need, done it, finished, moving forward, which in context of this new moon, I think is a direction we can take to look at all you've brought with you, all you've accomplished, what you can leave behind. And then you still have this staff, this wand to support you moving forward. You can now assess the past and move forward with your resources.
Exactly. That's Taurus, the resources. Like you have a mastery.
Which talks now then to the Sabian symbol. I don't know if you want to address the Sabian symbol.
Right.
The new moon Sabian symbol, 29 Taurus.
Yeah, 29 Taurus by my favorite astrologer, Dane Rudyard, and Astrological Mandala. The image picture for the 29th degree of Taurus is 2 cobblers working at a table. And the keynote is the twofold character of man's mature understanding.
Yeah.
And just a little bit here that he goes on to kind of describe. In symbolism, the feet are the symbol of understanding. Understanding differs from mere knowledge because it implies at least some degree of identification in depth with what is being understood. Moreover, it is impossible fully to understand anything except when its opposite is taken into consideration.
Yes.
The mental process of understanding, and therefore of appreciation, implies confrontation between 2 points of view. Thus, the mind gains a sense of perspective. So that's the guy in the tarot with his staff and his head kind of bandaged, and he's looking back at, what he's kind of held off or what he's mastered.
Yes.
His sense of perspective. He's gained this sense of perspective.
Yes.
So Rudyard continues, the way to dispel a shadow is to have the object illuminated on its own 2-dimensional level by 2 sources of light.
Nice.
So then you cancel out the shadow because you've got 2 different sources coming in. So the object is lit from all around. The 2 cobblers, in quotes, symbolize 2 contrasting ways of approaching the understanding of an experience, especially a new experience, like the new moon.
Like the new moon.
And they provide concrete forms which may clothe and protect the understanding.
Yes. Well, literally the feet, the thing on which we stand. I wanted to say, like, when we have an understanding, then we can more confidently take a stand. Love the feet. Can't underestimate the feet.
Understanding.
Yes, understanding what we stand upon.
Yeah. So this new moon conjunct Sedna, I think, also increases our understanding.
Yes.
Of the myth of Sedna, or in our own lives, what the patriarchy, what its support is good for, right? So Sedna was the daughter abandoned by the father.
Right.
And then when the father was summoned to come to rescue her, he saved himself. He threw her overboard first, and then as she tried to get into the canoe, he chopped off her fingers and sent her down to the depths where she created all of the animals of the Arctic, all the sea lions and the walruses and polar bears and seals. But, this Taurus, where Sedna is, and this new moon, I think, is going to ask us, what is our understanding of what the patriarchy values?
Yes, what it values. Yes.
And does it support? Is there support for life? There's another aspect here that I just wanted to bring in, and that's an inconjunct from the new moon and Sedna. An inconjunct, which is like not an opposition, not a trine. An inconjunct is kind of this squeaky aspect that is trying hard to see the point of view, but can't quite get there. So there's an inconjunct from Sedna and the new moon in the sun to Haumea at 29 degrees Libra, which is also about being able to renew, being able to regenerate.
Yeah. Two strong female archetypal goddesses, basically.
And she's conjunct the south node. So we are putting so much emphasis on the regeneration principle, but what we're still doing is extracting things from the earth, right? We're still extracting, and Sedna's like, well, how much can you go? How far can you go? Because we've reached the 29th degree in Taurus, which is our commodities, our resources, our values, So there's this kind of like push-pull or push-back, got to work with Mother Earth here. You got to work with the regeneration principles. You can't just keep taking.
So what's our good tip for the week then with this new moon? Beside the dreaming big and moving forward, how do we work with that inconjunct?
Whatever the idea is, or wherever the point of focus goes, it's going to be a growth point.
Okay.
This is a growth point.
Okay.
There's some support here from Pluto. Pluto is so close to the end degree of Capricorn that it's making a trine. It's an out of sign trine. But Pluto is like, think beyond.
Yeah.
That's what Sedna is also encouraging us to do. Think beyond, incorporate bigger ideas. That's what Jupiter conjunct the North Node, conjunct Mercury. Think bigger.
Yes.
So don't settle, in other words.
Yeah.
And if you have a good idea, work on it.
Work on it.
That's the other thing that could be really good here.
Right. With Jupiter now just in Taurus. And we have time.
Yes.
So great. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. If you want to send us an email or have questions or comments, you can send that to connect@SisterStargazers.com. It's also our website, www.SisterStargazers.com. You can still hear us Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on WMPG.org. You can find that on the internet and tune in, listen live there on Monday nights, 7 p.m. for a deep dive of astrology. And please like, subscribe, share. We're getting a few more subscribers each week to our YouTube channel where our podcast is. So thank you to everybody. And
thank you.
Thank you,
so
Jude.
Awesome. Oh my God. Yeah. No, there's a lot of support for growth in this new moon.
Awesome.
It might come with some work, but there's a lot of support for growth. Yeah.
Support for growth. There's the theme. Support for growth. Thanks, Jude.
Thank you, Sarah.
We'll see everybody next week.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Sister Stargazers. Let us know what worked for you this week. Find us on Facebook and post a comment at Sister Stargazers.